How are you?
Hey, good, good. So I have a friend who has a very tricky situation, it appears.
Okay.
She's in Germany, and a few years ago, she had a tumor removed, brain tumor.
Okay.
And after the second COVID vaccination, all kinds of things started to go the wrong way. It started with the fact that she has these energy drops when she gets almost into a comatose state because she has like zero energy. It goes from, okay, I can walk even to complete collapse that her husband carries her home usually. It's shocking. And then the second thing is she is getting more and more confused about where she is, routes to a doctor, for example, that she's done numerous times. Suddenly she doesn't know where she is. She can't cook because she'll take out everything out of the cupboards, can't put anything together, doesn't know she can't put pieces together somehow. And this all started after the second vaccination, right after, like a day or two after. Of course, in Germany,
Has she have her blood sugar checked?
she's had all kinds of tests. I don't know about blood sugar per se, but she's been in and out of hospitals, and her husband tells me that she's been tested, and tested some more, and everything always checks out within normal range.
Okay. So, I mean, because like just from what I'm sure they tested for this, but like blood sugar issues, like if it was real high, could cause some of this. And then, maybe not a stroke, but there's these things called TIAs, which are
Yeah.
like transient ischemic attacks. They're like little baby strokes.
Mhm.
There's always a potential there, but that's probably one of the things. I mean, the medical system in Germany is pretty solid, so I would say that those things have been checked. So, does she ever like lose her balance and fall?
Yes.
And when she does it, it's not that she just falls, she kind of like sways around and then falls?
Yeah, kind of, and kind
Yeah.
of a real
I
collapse.
So this is why it's not showing up, is there's this thing called sympathetic dystonia. And sympathetic dystonia is, how we're always talking about the vagus nerve losing tone, or the parasympathetic active, part of the nervous system losing tone. This is the fight flight side of the nervous system losing tone. And so you'll see like there's could be persons disoriented. It almost looks like they dance a little bit and then they'll lose their balance, and it's not even that they lose their balance, they just can't hold themselves up anymore, and they don't like necessarily pass out, but they'll like kind of fall and lose control of their muscles for a little bit, or they'll drop down
Exactly.
onto a knee or something. And the other indicator is you look, has their handwriting or their signature changed a bunch, because the motor coordination goes down a little bit. And it's not life threatening, but it's definitely quality of life threatening. It's like quality of life just goes out the window because you never know when it's going to pop up and everything.
Yeah.
Usually with that, I give them anise, like 2-3 drops multiple times a day. But let me
Mhm.
look something else up here real quick. There was another thing that I used from time to time in. Give me just a second here.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me give you some choices.
Mhm.
Lemongrass, rosemary, or tarragon. I'd still put an anise in the mix there, but um, any of those, but internal. And then you could do a little bit of topical application, either in an alcohol base or like a lotion or massage oil, or if they don't want to do that, even just several drops on the wrist of sage. And within it will be a slow roll out of it, but you'll notice like in a week or two they're like doing a little bit better, and then another week or two they're doing a little bit better, and it's still like kind of a slow roll out of it, but you're having to tone up that part of the nervous system, and it just takes a little bit. It's the same thing even with the parasympathetic side. It takes a little bit. You might find some immediate relief right off the bat, but it still needs to be treated for a while. And inhalation isn't going to be enough. Topical is not going to be enough. She will need to take the lemongrass, the tarragon, and when I say rosemary, I would say rosemary verbena versus just regular rosemary. I know I'm splitting hairs there, but the verbena is a little bit more balancing to the nervous system than regular rosemary. And
how
so
many drops of that?
any of them, like whichever one you choose, like probably 3 drops in water at least twice a day, but up to 4 times a day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
That's
then so you do the lemongrass and the anise?
no, you can
or
just do one. Just pick one.
One or the other. Okay.
Yeah. I would do like choose one of like lemongrass, tarragon, rosemary, verbena, or anise. And then so choose one out of there, and then the second thing I would do is put sage on the body.
Okay.
Between the two of those, it'll take a little while, but it should get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And this is the thing that I would say about that is that I'm not aware that there's any test that they can do for that. So like it's one of those things that it flies under the radar. And usually
Exactly.
it's not even on a physician's, like it's not on their radar. The only times that I've ever seen it diagnosed is when the person had a spell where they like did the little dance thing and fell in front of the doctor. Like other than that, it's not on anybody's radar. Like it's such a weird thing that the only times I think they really look for it is right after childbirth. Sometimes it can settle in, and that they'll go to it because you have a reason for it to be there. But other than that, it could be stress, it could be an injury. I think the last case that I treated in person was the person had gotten a neck injury and then ended up having this happen over a period of time. But even like, remember, it was like a week or two ago, somebody else had this issue where it was the lack of tone in the sympathetic nervous system. And so, yeah. Not common, but it's again not life-threatening, but it definitely affects quality of life.
It's totally disabling. She cannot work anymore.
Yeah,
She can't
yeah.
food for herself. I mean,
Yeah.
he has to dress her because she cannot put things together.
Well, even like the cooking thing, because they lose control of their body a little bit, it's almost like you don't want them doing something where like she could touch the stove and not stop or something.
Yes.
I had a friend that had it and I didn't know it, and I saw him do it, and he was standing there. All of a sudden he kind of fell, looked like he was leaning on like the hood of a car, and then he was just kind of spazzing, and we were all standing there and I was like, what are you doing? And then he stood up and he started dancing around, and I was like, that looks like dystonia. And then he fell. He was awake, but we had to go through and treat that. But people can have it for a long period of time and not know. And I remember saying something to him about it, and I was like, dude, why didn't you like tell me about that or whatever? And he goes, it just happens from time to time. He goes, I don't even know that it's a problem. It's just this weird thing that happens to me from time to time. And I was like, ugh, you know, it will keep getting worse. Like, you know, that's the thing is, if it goes untreated, it just continues to progress where it's just, they're always just a little bit disoriented. Yeah.
It's gotten worse. And the
Yeah.
question is there in fact a connection to that second vaccination? Because it started
Well,
right
it could,
away.
I mean, like it's hard to say, but like one of the ways that you could get dystonia is a really bad allergic reaction. And so if she had a bad reaction to the vaccine, that's always possible. You know, we don't always know what happens with vaccines and things like that, but hard to say. Like allergic reactions are one of the ways that it can happen though. And so I'm not saying she had an allergic reaction there, but people have allergic reactions to vaccines, so it's not out of the ballpark. But
Yep.
I would just start treating it. I mean, it sounds like it's progressed a bit, and so I would
Yes.
treat it pretty aggressively. Hey,
Okay.
please keep me posted on that. Like,
I will.
yeah. She should start feeling relief relatively soon. Like I said, it's not going to be taking it and boom, it's done, but you just start feeling better and better as time goes by.
Okay, I'll keep you posted. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so much.
You're so welcome.